Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Jerry Jones discusses free agency, trade options, draft, and more. At the NFL Combine in Indianapolis last week, Cowboys co-owner Stephen Jones said the Cowboys will be selectively aggressive in free agency, both in-house and on the outside market. They've shown their early steps in that department, signing Osa Odigizua to a long-term deal and restructuring CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott's contracts to create north of $50 million in cap space. Following Zach Martin's retirement press conference on Wednesday, Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones provided his own viewpoint of how Dallas would approach free agency. "I don't think aggressive is the right word. I wouldn't call us really void in any area," Jones said. "If you include what we're going to do in the draft, I wouldn't see that. I'm not looking at free agency as a place to fill voids." Does that mean that Jones views his roster one that is free of voids heading into 2025? "Not if you include what might work for us in the draft and what we're doing with our own roster relative to who we want to sign," Jones said. As has been the case in years past, Jones' comments seem to indicate that the Cowboys will focus more on the NFL draft and being able to develop the players that they do select to be staples of the team's future. That's not to say that the draft will be the only way the Cowboys supplement their roster, it just won't be the primary way. In the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cowboys hold the 12th overall pick, and Jones feels like Dallas is in a sweet spot that can address the aforementioned voids that Jones and the organization want to fill. "We've got a lot of options." The Combine actually, I think, emphasized that. "There's key players deep at key areas of the team: running back, defensive line, outside the pressure players," Jones said. "So frankly, this is a good time to have where we are, we're about right. I'm not so sure that I'd want to be any higher, and I think that you're going to get a premium player at this position." One of those options is the possibility of a trade in some capacity, which Jones certainly didn't rule out. "Right about draft time, picks get very premium right now. The trades relative to draft picks for a player, this is a possibly," Jones said. "You might call it a good time, because the draft, the round picks to be able to use it this year, can come at a premium." Since Jones purchased the organization in 1989, he's been very familiar with making draft day trades, as the Cowboys have pulled the trigger on 72 draft swaps under his watch. With that in mind, Jones is well aware that whether the Cowboys want to move or teams want to move to where the Cowboys are, a price will have to be paid. Why CeeDee Lamb will hate Cowboys' top pick in latest 4-round mock draft. On the same day his contract was restructured, saving his team $20 million in cap space, Dallas Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb sent out a short message on X about why he would do such a thing. "I want to win," Lamb wrote. "It's gonna take more than just myself." Offensive help is on the way for Lamb and quarterback Dak Prescott, according to Athlon Sports college football and NFL analyst Luke Easterling, whose 4-round mock draft hit this site on Thursday. Easterling has the Cowboys taking a wide receiver in round 1, Texas Matthew Golden after a trade down with the Cincinnati Bengals, and a running back in round 2, Iowa's Caleb Johnson. Golden was Easterling's 6th-rated receiver in the draft more than a month ago, but after a stunning performance at the NFL Combine, the fast-rising Texas receiver is making a solid case for being the second-best wideout behind Arizona's Tetairoa McMillan. Adding Johnson, Easterling's 3rd-ranked running back, would be a heck of a 1-2 haul for Dallas and make Prescott and most Cowboys fans very happy. However, picking Golden in the first round could come with a bit of awkwardness and controversy. That's because he doesn't even make Lamb's list of favorite receivers in the draft. In an interview earlier this week, Lamb was asked about this receiving class. "I like a lot of them actually," Lamb said in an interview with RG.org. "There's a bunch of pieces that stood out. I like T-Mac, McMillan, from Arizona for one. I like Luther Burden 3, from Missouri. The list could go on. I like Emeka Egbuka, from Ohio State, and Tez Johnson, from Oregon. No mention of Golden. We'll soon see if Jerry Jones consults Lamb's wish list. Cowboys predicted to sign multi-year solution in free agency. The Dallas Cowboys offseason has largely been centered around retaining players, plus getting some more offensive additions for Brian Schottenheimer. But let's not forget the defense, and in particular, at linebacker. Last season, it was Eric Kendricks or bust after DeMarvion Overshown went down with his knee injury. Maris Lufau showed promise, and Damone Clark seemingly fell off the face of the earth. Plus, Nick Vigil played more than fans would have liked. So, it makes sense to fortify the linebacker spot, especially for coordinator Matt Eberflus, who has a knack for getting quality linebacker play out of his unit. And it is here that the Cowboys, for CBS Sports, should consider free agent Robert Spillane from the Las Vegas Raiders. If you're reading this, you have about as much chance of playing linebacker for the Cowboys next season as anybody else, CBS Sports writes. They have Maris Lufau and Damone Clark on hand, and that's basically it, unless DeMarvion Overshown makes a miraculous recovery from his devastating, multi-ligament knee injury. They brought in Eric Kendricks on a one-year deal last offseason, but could go for a bit more of a multi-year solution here with Spillane. A solid veteran contributor, Spotrac.com has Spillane's value set at $10.4 million APY, and that might seem too rich for Dallas, but given the need to cover in starters at linebacker, Spillane would be a solid choice to join Eberflus' unit. A locker room leader in the tackle machine, over 148 tackles in each of the last 2 seasons, he's not a flashy player like Overshown, but he is a steady contributor and one who could be a valuable addition to the room. Of course, money will be a factor, but this is one player that Dallas has to have their eye on, and as we state with most Tier 2 free agents, a call has to at least be made. What do you think? Would he be a good addition to the Cowboys roster? Give your opinion in the comments, like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you soon.